trip 2. I picked up a job. I still don't have a truck. This is just a Volvo. I actually like the Volvos. When I played Euro Truck, I was all about the Mans. I just like the dash layout of the Man truck. Kind of like the same I do with the Kenworth. I just like how it all sits. Um, I use a trackball for my view. I don't use a track IR. I always wanted to get one, but I don't really play enough games to where it was warranted. So I have a huge trackball mouse that I use to turn my head and different things like that. So this second trip, my wheel um, my wheel is too sensitive. It's kind of jumping all over, but it's working on the road. So I thought, if it's on the road, it'd be all right. You know, as long as I'm not wrecking, it'd be good. Um, I didn't like how it's sitting. So the cool thing about this game is just the adjustments that you have as a driver. You can do so many different things. And I understand if I had like track IR or something like that, I could kind of do it myself, but I don't. So it's amazing the adjustments that you have. And granted, I mean, you know, you're basically just setting your default sitting position. So you'll notice like when I look away and then I look back, I'm just hitting like um, the quick shortcut button for the camera to turn, so it kind of snaps back. But yeah, I'm still getting used to AI cars. I kind of like it actually. Um, I actually spent a little time on World of Trucks looking at the VTCs, the virtual trucking companies. Thought about starting my own, and kind of thought about just looking for one that's already going with the active group. But like I said, I don't like locking myself into games too much. Um, I have, like I said, my division clan is really growing right now. So basically, I sit down and I'm making a couple runs with this, and then I'm spending the later part of the evening in the division. Um, but I enjoy this game. I really do. There's a lot of streamers, a lot of people cover this, which is it's the thing about doing YouTube. You're trying to come up with something, and get some activity and being that I don't have the time to really dedicate to, like for instance, I mean I play World of Tanks, and then I got to go back and I look at all my different replays and battles, and decide what I want to put in, what I don't want to put in. Um, Here's where I go in and I try to adjust the sensitivity, and I realize that you you need to come to a stop before you do that, because I nearly have my first wreck. It's, it's unreal, really. Um, Basically, I had moved the dead zone up in the wheel, and it was too much dead zone. So I took the dead zone out and and I moved the sensitivity down, and it was a little hectic for a while, but I got it, and I'm like, all right, this now that I got it settled, this will work. But food for thought, pull off the side, adjust the wheel and go. Um, but no, just I mean, going through videos and watching replays and different things like that, it does take a lot of time. Um, And with a division, there's not a lot to really showcase. You know, I mean, the missions are all the same. Everybody's done them. My build is my build. You know, like I said, I can go through any mission on challenging solo, um, and don't have any issue with it. But with this game, you know, when I started in Bakersfield, California, the first time I played it, and it was all right. I mean, that was the first state that came out, so I resided in Bakersfield and went around, and you know, I drove. What I'd done before was I drove for companies until I got enough money to buy a truck. Then I bought a truck, and then I hired a trucker to drive that truck, and then I continued. So it was like I'm still making money and I'm still trucking, but I don't have to have a truck to do it. And it was easier to unlock the map by doing that. Um, you know, because you could basically go from a city you haven't been to a city you've been, or vice versa, or two cities you've never been. And before I before I dropped the load off, I would drive around the city and unlock everything. So unlocking the map was not a big deal. Um, and like I said, I basically ran that until I had 5 trucks fully loaded in one garage, and then I decided that I was going to buy my first truck. So um, for me, you know, and I had leveled up quite a bit, so I could unlock some of the cooler features and different things. So when I started doing it, I would I would drive the truck, and I would always I'd look through my driver's list, and I'd see the top earning driver, and like I had a couple trucks that had had a ton of miles on them. So every time every time I hired a new driver, I would take my most profitable driver and put them in a brand new, fully stocked truck. Um, the one thing I've noticed about this game is that female drivers earn more than the male drivers. Um, I I took and I experimented. I I got 2 garages, and all I did was buy the full, the maxed out truck. And so I had the 2 garages with the exact same trucks, both maxed out. And then I hired 5 men in one garage and 5 women in the other garage. And each month, whenever I'd go check it, the women were consistently making more money for me. So, and I noticed that they level up more. Um, but it's such a really, really cool game. Like I said, I'm still tweaking, still trying to get things situated. Um, just to get it back the way I had it. I have to go into my profiler and adjust my steering a little bit there, because I found a notepad that I had the settings written down on, so I should be able to mimic it. That was after I did this though. It's like the next day. I did this trip, and then I went and spent some time in another game, and then um, when I get up to go to work the next day, it dawned on me, and I happened to open a folder and a drawer, and I found it. So um, sometimes hard copies, pay off. And so I gotta mess with that a little bit to get it better. Like I said, going down the road, this was fine. Um, you'll see when I get to where I gotta dump the trailer. It's a bit of a nightmare. The wheels do not turn as fast as my wheel does. So as I'm backing up, the truck's like not doing anything, and then all of a sudden, it is. But nah, I'm enjoying the offline with the vehicles, the cars. It's pretty neat. probably gonna upload these for a while, so I can focus on basically just doing some, doing some other stuff. I know it's, to some it's not very entertaining to watch somebody just drive, but if I can add some commentary to it, what's really cool actually about being up in Washington, because I had not explored it. I think I made like one trip into Washington before my computer crashed out. So starting there was neat because it's a really beautiful map. They've done some really awesome stuff with it. The mountains and all that is just really really cool. Um, and it was funny because there's one not. Ooh, that was close. Don't want to crash through a hot rod like that. Um, but I think it was another trip. I pulled into Tacoma, Washington, and I have a friend that I met online through RC racing, and he races at Tacoma Speedway, which is an RC track, and I really really hope to get there sometime to meet him and everything. It's 3,000 miles away, but at some point, catch a flight and get out there and see the track and see him. Um, but it was actually I took a screenshot, put it up on my desktop at work, and people were like, "Wow, whose truck's that?" I'm like, "Oh, that's an online truck. It wasn't even one. It was just a screenshot from the World of Trucks website." And I said, "Well, that's a computer truck. It's from a game." And they're like, "Really? It's that accurate?" I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty detailed." But I don't know, just the elements of it. It's really neat. Um, but I think I'm able to get enough content basically to keep my 3 nights of uploads going. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing, is just running this game and building up my game file and just uploading different things. The game's vanilla. I haven't put any mods in it. Probably won't. And it would, like farming sim, you get one bad mod, it just screws everything up. So I haven't really done anything. I have just the stuff that I bought with it. Like I have the Stripe pack, the classic Stripe pack. So, but this little man truck was actually pretty good. It's not a heavy load, but it was still fun to drive. But that's what I mean. Just the graphics, the sky, the clouds, just everything. It's really 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 cool. Yeah, wheels still kind of all over the place, but it's really really just fun. Every every now and then you need to do something that is just relaxing, and I've seen some people with this game that, they go and get an actual tractor trailer cab, half a cab, and put it in their living room and put a display up in the windshield and just really go all out with it, which is really, really cool. That's not as far as I'll get with it. Um, there's a company out there that makes a really cool control box that has the air brake and all that stuff off to the side. Um, really, really talented and unique. But I don't know. It's just it's just a game you can play when you just want to relax, and I don't play any of the music. You can select radio stations and stuff, which is which is really cool. I know Euro Truck was always funny because I'd find that one station that had American music, but the commentators were German or Russian, or you know, so the DJs, but so, but no, this is one of the things, it's like you get there's all kinds of different games out there, different style of games, it's hard to for me it's hard to lock down, you get so caught up in one game and I feel like you're missing out on other games. It's like, I've only installed, I think I have the Division 1 installed, I have this game, Division 2, and Anthem, and World of Warships and World of Tanks. Those are the games that I currently have installed. They're not all the games I own. I have Borderlands. I pre-purchased Borderlands 3, and I've played it for about 8 hours one day, and I just haven't touched it since. So, it's a time thing. It's like I don't have time to play and do all the things, all the games that I want to play. As it is now, I mean, it's winter here, so it's just cold. We don't really have any snow right now. But when I get home, I check on the family, and I'll hop in front of this for a couple hours. Then I'll have dinner. My son will go to bed. My wife will go to work, and I'll finish out the night playing something. She works third shift, so she's usually catching up on some sleep when I get home. So my son does some YouTube himself, so he's usually on playing. I tried for the last year. I tried to get better internet because I'd really like to get into streaming. Just yeah, I got a speeding ticket there, but I don't know. I just really like to get into streaming, but my internet is terrible. I mean, usually it takes about oh, 6 hours, I think, 6 or 7 hours to upload a 20-minute video. It's less than a gig upload, or actually, yeah. Um, we're currently been brought down to 15 megabytes per second. I tried getting cable, tried to work out a deal with our local cable company, and it was going to be, about $12,000 to run cable out to our house. So I had to change my mind on that because I wasn't, I'm not going to spend that kind of money and then pay them on top of that a monthly, just doesn't make any sense. Um, but I really wanted to get into to streaming, just the interaction and being able to just play, But making YouTube videos is the next best thing, you know. And they're fun games to mess around with. Like I said, this game here, I just really enjoy it. It's just fun to play. And I try to simulate it as much as I can. I always use my directionals, and I don't normally I don't use the two camera overlooking the truck. I don't ever do that. I am right now, only because I could tell that my truck wasn't going kind of where I wanted it to, or as fast as I wanted it to. So I used the F2 to kind of figure it out. Um, it seemed fine going forward and all that, but just making the swing didn't quite go where I wanted it to. And I realized that. It's like, wow, it didn't, you know. So basically right now my wheels aren't turning as fast as my steering wheel is. So when you get somewhere, then there's like a delay. So if you turn them all the way hard right, and then you drive, by the time you get where you're going, they'll finally make it all the way right. So and this is where I'm kind of messing around, going, yeah, it's gotta play around with some stuff, but I'm like, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. After this trip, I decided that it was time to get a truck, just to be consistent, you know, because all the trucks are a little different. So I decided, you know, I'm gonna buy. I found a Kenworth garage earlier, so I'm like, I'm just gonna buy a Kenworth and just start building. But yeah, the truck is turning so slow. I just can't. I can't get it where I want it to go. I'm gonna figure out a way to shut that off to the auto parking, because I'll never choose that. It was funny actually. In my last video, I was thinking, you know, it's like to be a newbie. To be a newbie trucker, that trailer that they gave me in the last video was quite something. So, but and I'm not, like, there's certain parking spots I'm not allowed to choose because they're too challenging or whatever. But and what I do too with my driving, especially when I'm by myself, I'll pull up to the place and actually take a job from there. So I'm always going job to job. If I run with somebody, then I'll try to find a job that. Oh, excuse me. Wow, how's it going? But I'll pick a job that either picks up at the same place they do, or like there was one night a friend of mine were playing, and I was actually in Washington, and he was in the tip down at the very bottom. I think New Mexico is where he was at, and it was I want to say it was a 17-hour run for both of us to meet halfway. So he started at one end, I started at the other. We met in the same town, and then we disconnected, and then we picked it up the next day and just did the things. But anyways, that's my little run. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I think I'm gonna keep this going because they're easier to do. But thanks again for your time.